The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey gang, it's Maria Mountain here. How are you doing tonight? Just wanted to welcome you onto the little webinar. Say hi, let you know that I'm actually here. This isn't a recording. I was going to do this out by the fire, but Paul can sometimes make a little bit of noise, so I figured I better stick in here. Okay. So welcome to this little, what I meant to be a fireside chat, but will instead be an in-office chat, where I'm going to try and help you find sort of the perfect off-season program for you. So I'm going to go over programs for both goalies and skaters. So whichever you are, don't worry about it. I'll get all of you handled in time. And we're gonna roll through this pretty quickly. The hockey game starts at 8, so I promise that I'll get you on the go by then. So go grab a paper and pencil or pen and pencil, because you're probably going to want to write down some of these websites that I talk about. And while some of you are doing that, if somebody else could just either in the chat box or in the questions box, just type in like, I hear you, everything's working. That would be awesome. That would let me breathe a little bit easier as we go. So I'm just going to give you a minute to grab a pen and a piece of paper, and then somebody can just pop in and say, oh yeah, okay, fantastic. Thank you very, very much. And at the end, if we have time to get to questions, we definitely will. I won't promise that we'll have time because, again, I don't want to keep you all night. I know you guys are like me. You probably had a long day already. Okay, so as a bit of a background, this is how this all came to be. I hosted probably about 10 days ago or so, I hosted the Off-Season Secrets webinar, and it was just where I answered your questions about developing like speed and strength and stamina and mobility during the off season, and really I just answered your questions. This in turn led to a flood of questions about which of my programs would be best for, name any different scenario you could come up with. So on the upside, it was awesome because I think when we answered some of those questions, a lot of you realized, geez, the stuff that I've been doing, which I thought was pretty good, like going to the gym and using the machines and, kind of just basically working out was enough. And now I realize that actually the workouts I've been doing aren't getting me the most bang for my buck and actually might be hindering my performance. So, but then I started getting lots of emails asking about, specifically what programs are best for whom, which just, I really enjoy answering your questions, but like some of our pro players, their seasons are wrapping up, and our Hockey Strong program in the gym starts on Monday, and like it's almost like everybody just woke up and decided they're going to email Maria this week. So I'm getting behind in my emails, which makes me really stressful. Like I typically every day clear my email box to maybe not 0, but like 3 emails that are in there. And one actually is the and one of the emails that always stays in my inbox is an email, the last email that my dad sent to my husband Paul, which is kind of a long story short. It's a joke, but he ends it off, it's like, look it up yourselves, assholes. So so I have that always in my inbox, but just remember my dad loved me. But so when I can't answer your emails and the email fills up my inbox, that makes me anxious and I feel like I'm not doing a good job for you. So I thought I would host this webinar just walking you through each of the programs to say, hey, this is who I had in mind when I created this program. I want to be super 100% clear that this is not a sales pitch. So I'm just here because you asked me these questions. I put out this thing like, hey, do you want me to walk you through it? You registered and said yes. So, I invite you to sit in tonight as I went through my relevant programs. And it's going to be my relevant programs because that's all I know. I don't know what the other programs out there entail, or I've seen some of them, but I can't really comment on them. So, and then you're going to decide if it's right for you. That's all. I'm not going to try to to persuade you. Obviously I want you using my programs because I know they work, and I believe it's a perfect vehicle to help you achieve your goals and live your dreams. If you don't believe that, well, then that's okay too. So if you're not looking for a done for you downloadable program that you can follow along this off season, then this might not be the best use of your time. So for example, if you hopped on this webinar because you wanted me to go through what exercises you should do, or how an off season program should be laid out, this isn't that webinar. If you go to hockeytrainingpro.com and go to the blog, and look back probably 2 weeks ago now, maybe if you scroll through the blog post, there's an image of me standing in front of a whiteboard. That's what I call the chalk talk. And that's where I lay out exactly what your off-season program should consist of, like when to do your upper body, when to do your lower body, when to do your speed and everything else. And then you can sort of slot it in and figure out what exercises you're going to do. So that I've already done. This is a couple more steps down the road from that. And for those of you who are, super keen and you're like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I'm not sure which program is going to be best for me. I got a little treat for you if you stay to the end. So I'm just saving it to the end so that just the beaners get it. Does that sound cool? Okay. Now I know that my friend Pascal Villana and some of the other goalie coaches that I've worked with shared the registration link for this webinar, which is really cool. So that tells me that some of you really aren't familiar with who I am. So really quickly, my name's Maria Mountain. I'm a hockey strength and conditioning specialist. I've been called a goalie whisperer because I do specialize in off-ice training of goalies, but I work with skaters as well. And I've helped players at all levels, house league, beer league, pretty much every pro league, including the NHL, find success on the ice. And so my broad mission is to help 10,000 players win more games with fewer injuries. But my narrower mission is to get 10 of you into the NHL and 2 of you to go on to win the Stanley Cup, which would be super cool, wouldn't it? Then we'll have a big party. I actually have drank a beer out of the Stanley Cup when one of the athletes I trained won it. Andy McDonald won it with the Anaheim Ducks, and it was a mucho fun. Like, it was very cool. We had a backyard picnic, and the Stanley Cup was just there on its table with its little Stanley Cup tablecloth. And, you're just having like a hamburger and veggies, and you could just walk over and look at it and read it, and it was just awesome. It was a little embarrassing because at some point in the night, people started chugging beer out of the Stanley Cup, and I actually can't chug beer. There's something physiologically wrong with me, so I just drink a bit, and then I feel the bubbles in my belly, and I have to stop and take a little rest. And I had to rest 2 times just in the course of drinking. It was like 1 Bud Light out of the Stanley Cup. It took me much longer than everyone else, but it's a little fun fact for you. Maria cannot chug beer. Anyway, so I know that sometimes I confuse you, and I know that sometimes you get overwhelmed by the volume of information and all the different programs that I have to offer. And I am sort of somewhat sorry for that, but this is a secret that I think either other coaches don't want you to know, or maybe they don't even know, but one program is not right for everyone. And this is my passion. And I do strongly feel that I'm obliged to have these different programs to try and suit different classifications of clients. So that's why I think it's good that we kind of walk through them together. My goal is to try and customize my downloadable programs. And no, there are no hard copies. So please don't email me and be like, can I get mine in hard copy? When is that coming in the mail? I don't do hard copies. I maybe did when I started out 6 years ago. People would get broken CDs or DVDs. They would get lost. The manuals would come and they'd be damaged. It was just a pain. So I only do downloadable programs now. I don't even have hard copies of them. But anyway, my goal is to try and customize these programs as much as possible. I mean, yeah, like for sure my life would be way easier if I could just create one program, sell it for $97 all day long to everyone. um, but that wouldn't really be delivering like the better opportunity to everyone. So, in a lot of things, there's good, better, best. Um, for you, good is going to hockeytrainingpro.com or my YouTube channel or whatever, and getting the free content from the website, and just adding that into your programs, or just trying a few exercises. That's good because they're good exercises and they will help you. Better would be getting the right downloadable step-by-step program for you. That's what we're here for tonight. Best, I guess, would be the private online coaching that I do for players that live all over the world. So it's online, so it doesn't matter where you live. I have a goalie in Iceland that I train. I actually just had a brand new goalie enroll who's on the Australian national team and obviously lives in Australia. But that's a premium program. So, for example, for just the off season from May through August, it's $1,200 Canadian, because we talk on the phone and talk about your injuries and where you need to improve and what equipment you have and what your schedule is and where you're going to train. And I custom design everything. I'm not really going to talk about that today. If it's something that interests you, you want to be considered for a spot in that program, the best thing to do is to email my assistant. Dion is his name. His email is help@hockeytrainingpro.com. help@hockeytrainingpro.com. Make the subject like private coaching with Maria, and I'll tell him to look out for those and to pass those along to me. I also want you to just write like a paragraph, not your life story, but a paragraph or two, that's kind of compelling on why you're going to benefit from working directly with me. And then Dion will pass those on to me. And then I'll, if I see something compelling and want to talk to you further about it, then I'll reach out to you and touch base with you. Does that sound cool? But it's not something we're going to talk about tonight. What I want to talk about tonight is the downloadable programs for goalies and skaters. So here we go. I'm going to start with a young gun, what I call a young gun or a future pro. So this is a player who's 14 or older. If you have experience working out in the gym with like instruction from a strength and conditioning coach, so not just like, yeah, I've gone to the high school gym and I've done leg press, and like if you actually have some training background, then if you're a goalie, the two programs you should look at are Ultimate Goalie Training 3. So that's just ultimategoalietraining3.com, or the shutoutacademy.com. If you're a skater, it's super easy. It's just hockeytrainingblueprint.com. So for all of those programs, you'll be expected to train 4 to 6 days a week with workouts ranging from 60 minutes to 2 hours each. You should have access to a basic gym. So barbell, dumbbells, stability ball, resistance bands, adjustable cable column, medicine ball, that type of thing. So it doesn't need to be an elite athlete training facility, but just a basic gym. I think you should probably be able to sprint, because there is quite a bit of speed and stamina work that's done on your feet. So if you're injured, or maybe a more like, shall we say, mature player whose knees or hips have just had it, then this might not be the best program for you because it's fairly aggressive. Now, if you're pretty familiar with training, then you could probably substitute like some stationary bike or elliptical for some of the running, and you'll have a sense of how much is enough and how much is too much. But if you're a total newbie, I don't know that these are really the best programs for you. They're my most advanced programs. If you don't have the time to train, so if time is an issue for you, definitely not for you. So let's just look at each one kind of quickly. The first one, the Ultimate Goalie Training 3. This is So this is actually the dashboard. This is what you see when you have purchased the program, you've created your username and password. Now you own the product. This is where you come in. So there's a little introductory video. Please watch these intro videos and please read the manual start to finish. It explains a lot. And I always get emails like, what do the 4 numbers in brackets after the reps mean? Well, that's the tempo, and it's super important. It's like a recipe. Like if you don't know what the tempo means, it's like trying to follow a recipe that you have no idea how much of anything goes in it. Like what goes in it, but no idea how much of anything goes in. And it's all explained in the intro video and in the manual. So make sure you check that out. Then, so I'm just going to show this to you now. It's kind of pretty much how most of my programs work. So then you have your different phases of training because they're periodized. They're designed in a scientific way to build from one phase to the next. So start with a strong foundation and then build up to a fast, explosive, powerful, stable, injury-resistant athlete. So the workbooks, like if you click here, this is the Ultimate Goalie Training 3 workbook. And so it has a little bit of intro, but here's your schedule laid out. Like if this is off season, you're going to do, on first day, workout 1.1, then 1-2, then 1-3. It just like you don't have to wake up and think, oh, geez, what shall I do today? I also give you an in-season schedule. It's not really designed as an in-season program, but for some of you, this might be the only program you own. So I'm going to make it so that you can, use it year-round. This is just demonstrating how you would fill in the training log. So for the stretches, you just need to check off that you did them. For the strength exercise, I want to know, okay, so the rep range is 10 to 15 on each side. Well, you did 12 with 15 pounds. On the next day, you did 10 with 20 pounds. So we know what you're using. And then there's training log pages. So I expect you to keep track of your workouts just like the pro athletes do. I don't have a single high performing athlete who doesn't keep their training logs. But then too, you might not know, or you might forget, hey, what the heck is that rectus femoris? Sometimes you'll look at the picture and be like, oh yeah, I remember now. But when you're just starting, you're not going to know. So you can click on this picture here, or you can click on the name and it'll pop up a little like 30 to 45 second video showing you exactly what to do. So, and that's for all, your core, your strength, everything is like that. Then if I go back to the dashboard, there's also video tutorials. So, okay, I want to, this would be good before you start. Okay, I just want to go over, all the flexibility modules first, and then I'll look at all the core training modules. So that's kind of how that one works. So again, this Ultimate Goalie Training 3, which is just at ultimategoalietraining3.com, is the highest level off-season program that I have outside that private coaching option we talked about. And I've had from AAA to NCAA to junior to pro goalies use it effectively. You can also get a pro module as an add-on when you buy the program. So I created that last year because some goalies had been on this program or like the earlier version, because there was like a Ultimate Goalie and then Ultimate Goalie 2.0, Ultimate Goalie 3.0. But some of them have been using this same type of program for a couple off seasons. So I wanted to give them an advanced module, which is why I created Ultimate Goalie Training Pro. Now it is only an add-on when you buy Ultimate Goalie Training 3.0. You cannot buy it on your own. So I can't remember. I think it's like a $47 add-on if you want that advanced pro module to go with it. But you can't just buy it as a standalone. That's why it's so cheap, because it's just meant to be an add-on to the other program. So that's the that's the Ultimate Goalie Training 3.0. Let me slide over here to the Shutout Academy. So the Shutout Academy is actually the newest program that I created. I just released it this January. And there are two things about it that are super cool. One is that it comes with a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, which kind of gives you a bit of a coaching element. So, for example, if you like have a tournament and you're going to be playing 2 games on Saturday and 3 games on Sunday, hey, should I do my workout on Friday? Then I can chime in, and other people in the group can chime in, or somebody says, hey, I'm on holiday and I don't have a chin up bar. What can I do instead of chin ups? Then we can help you out. So it has that little bit of coaching element, nice community element, place you can ask about equipment or any of that other stuff. So that's one of the really cool things. The second really cool thing is I designed it with what I call season sync. So when you join the Shutout Academy, you join right now. So with my workout clubs, it used to be that no matter when you joined, you started on module number 1, which is fine because those programs were a little bit more entry-level programs. But what I don't want is, so for example, let's say you join this program May 1st, the Shutout Academy May 1st. It's your off season. I want you to start with my May 1st module, which I just uploaded, or actually I have to upload tomorrow. I just got the final PDF yesterday. Because it is the start of our off season phase. So through the summer months, I'm going to progress you through a periodized off-season training cycle. I don't want you to join May 1st, the beginning of your off-season, and start on the workout that I designed for January when the players were all in their season and it's an in-season style program. So that's what I mean by season sync. Where you start is where you're at in your season. Now, a little bit of a problem for Australians because your seasons are a little bit flip-flopped. But for most of us, that's how it's going to work. So even again, when we get into September and October, it's not going to be high volume, high intensity like an off-season program. We're going to bring the volume down a bit, focus a little more on keeping that speed and explosiveness, not so much wear and tear with the stamina, because most of you are going into your season. So that's what I mean when I say season sync. So for this first phase of the off season, it's a full body workout for May, and then we go to an upper lower split, just like I do with the hockey players that I train at Revolution Conditioning. It's very similar to the Ultimate Goalie Training 3 in terms of intensity and volume, but it's a little more fluid based on the group. So, because I can get feedback on how people are doing, how people are keeping up with their workouts, what their thought is. I get a little finger on the pulse because of that awesome Facebook group. So it gives me a little more wiggle room to change it and modify it based on who's in the group. So that is the Shutout Academy. And you need just basic equipment. I try to keep it very simple. I don't want anyone to feel that they can't do a program because they don't have all the gear. So like basic stuff, like some dumbbells, some resistance bands, a stability ball, you're good to go. You'll see things like agility ladders or micro hurdles in some of the speed modules, but you don't have to have an agility ladder. You can draw one in sidewalk chalk out on the driveway. You can tape one out in the garage or the basement if you ask mom and dad or the landlord or whoever first. For micro hurdles, you can just get some running shoes and line them up, or some small plastic cones and line them up. So really that's not really a barrier to doing any of the workouts. It's not like, oh, and now you have to have a sled and a parachute and all this stuff. The workouts, they'll take an hour to an hour and a half. Some might creep towards 2 hours when you include the mobility training as well. That's a huge part of these programs. So it's not a simple program at all. Now, For the skaters, it's really easy. The highest level program that I have is the Hockey Training Blueprint. This program isn't that old. I think this might be its second year. Trying to think. They all blend together. But it's basically the skaters version of the Ultimate Goalie Training 3.0. It's the highest level program that I have for skaters. The time will be about the same, 1 to 2 hours. The equipment needs about the same. Like a basic gym setup will be fine. It's styled after more of a pro style or college style off season program. Okay. Let's look at programs for kids that are under 14 years of age. This will be very simple. I created, and I think this program is about a year old. I created, where is it? The Puck Battle Domination for them. Now, this program is for goalies and skaters. I know the name makes it sound like it's just for skaters. It's for goalies and skaters. And really, you might not like it if I say this, but kids that are like 10, 11, 12, 13, they don't really need, the vast majority don't need specific training for a goalie or for a forward or for a defenseman. They just need to lay that foundation for more advanced training. And hopefully the other sports that they're playing, so they're not just playing hockey year round. So, and I know that lots of you, like the kids, work out with their team and do things, but like the next time you're in the rink and that's going on, look at them and like look at them doing push-ups, look at them doing planks. Like, that that's not proper technique, and they're working hard and they're pushing themselves, which is awesome, but they're not actually learning how to stabilize their torso while they exert force with their arms, or they're not learning proper movement patterns. They're learning just to kind of move and make themselves tired, which isn't really what we want to instill in young players. So it uses body weight and some resistance bands to teach kind of weight training techniques and body control and core stabilization in a safe and effective manner. They will get stronger. They'll learn to stabilize their bodies in a functional way. They're not going to like add muscle mass and things like that. Trying to do that with an athlete, even an athlete 16 or under, as the end goal is really unwise, because it just depends so much on how much testosterone they have circulating, and that depends on just what their physical maturation is and where they're at. Some are slow bloomers and some are fast bloomers. So don't make gaining mass and getting ripped muscles sort of the measure of success. Puck Battle Domination, let me think. Oh, the workouts are pretty short, so there's still time for your kid to be a kid. It emphasizes really like, mobility, like can they move, stability, can they stabilize, and then strength. So it will help them, play stronger on the ice, and that's pretty cool. Okay, what's next? I guess this one would be like if you're over 14, but pretty new to training, and you're a skater, then I think Hockey Workout Club is a good way to go. I also think it's a really good option. Like if it's a first training program, so mom and dad, if you're listening, and your child really wants to do a training program, and this is sort of their first foray into it, and you aren't 100% sure whether or not they're going to keep up with the training. So you just kind of want to test it out before you invest in a more expensive, more comprehensive advanced program. This one is really good because it's only about $10 US a month. And so, you can just give it a try and, say, okay, like Johnny, I'm giving you the tools and, it's up to you to do it. And then you're going to see if Johnny does it and is eating it up, then it's like, this is great. Maybe we'll look at one of the more advanced programs in a month or two. If Johnny kind of is making excuses and not putting in the effort and, then, you know, okay, well, I don't think I really need to spend more money on this right now. It's not to say that he or she won't turn the corner down the road. And in which case you just cancel your subscription and that's it, you're done. I'll actually mention here as well that every single one of my programs comes with a 60-day, no questions asked, full 100% money back guarantee. There's no fine print, there's no exception. Um, you know, you don't have to write me kind of like a snarky email like, well, I'm going to call you on your 60-day money back guarantee. So, you know, like I'm not trying to take your $10. It's like, if the program's going to work for you if you do it. If you, for whatever reason, don't like it, don't do it, then I want you to have your money back. I don't need your money. It's not like this, you know, it's not like I'm turning into a millionaire off this, but you know, it's okay. Like, I'm genuinely trying to help you out. You can either email Dion, so help@hockeytrainingpro.com, or you'll get a receipt if you decide to purchase a program that's from a company called ClickBank. You can save that, and there's a link right on it. You can click and go through your account and ask for a refund as well, or cancel a subscription or whatever you wish to do. ClickBank, I can't remember the number, but it's like processes billions of dollars of transactions. So they're kind of like my merchant account. So they handle all the payment processing, if there's a refund, anything like that. So they protect you, the consumer. They also protect me as a vendor, you know, from like scammers or things like that too. So that's what you do if you do end up buying a program, but then find out for whatever reason it's not right for you. I'll tell you straight up, my refund rates are extremely low. And the number one reason that people refund is just because they're not doing the program. Because usually they email me with like quite a sincere apology, like, I'm really sorry, like I thought I would be able to do it, but I just am too busy and whatever. It's 100%, it's okay. And I really just want you to take the program and use it to be awesome hockey player. And if that's not going to be the case, then it's okay. I'll give you your money back. So that's the Hockey Workout Club. If you're a goalie, oh yeah, this one is awesome. Then look at, or consider rapid response goalie training. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it in a second. Or the Shutout Academy. The Shutout Academy, again, is nice because it's a fairly low barrier offer. It's not as low as the Hockey Workout Club because the Shutout Academy is quite a bit more advanced program. And it has that Facebook coaching component. But that's the reason that it's nice. So, like, if you have a little less experience training, there's somewhere to go to ask questions, to get some feedback, to get some assistance, get pointed in the right direction. So I think that's pretty cool, actually. There aren't many other programs that have that. What if you are an adult goalie? So let's say you still want to be a better goalie. You still want to reduce your risk of injury because it's no fun going to work every day and you can barely walk because your groin is always torn or something. And you have to explain to people at work why your groin is sore all the time. But you don't have much time to dedicate to training. So, and probably you actually are a person who thinks like, I don't have time to do all the training that would really give me benefit on the ice. You think that this is just impossible, and you're totally wrong. So you are that motivated goalie who still wants to be awesome, but just really doesn't have the time to train. It's exactly who I designed the rapid response goalie training program for. So like a busy men's league or beer league player who doesn't have time to train would ideally do their training at home if possible, because that will save them sort of an extra 45 to 60 minutes going to the gym. And, again, you have a job and a family and, other responsibilities and probably, if you have kids, they play sports too. So you're chauffeuring every which way. So the cool thing about rapid response goalie training, this is the newer version, the 2.0 version. You decide whether you're going to work out 2 3 or 4 days a week because I have some different training schedules. One I think is just called like I'm too busy training schedule. You're going to use basic equipment like resistance bands. If you have dumbbells, like that would be cool, like a couple sets of dumbbells. A ball would help, but it's okay. And what I did when I created this program for you is I took just a laser focus on the goalie strength and speed, that would give you the most return with the minimum possible dose. That was my mission. And all of my programs I revisit every year and look through and say, well, is this still best practices? Is this still what I do? What would I change? And that's why we get 2.0, 3.0 versions, because it's like it's everything changes. That's the thing that's so awesome about being a strength and conditioning coach. But when I look at rapid response goalie training, like I love it. Like every time I look over the workouts, I'm just like, no, like honestly, there isn't much I would change at all. So that's what it is. It's a progressive program, so it almost feels a little easy when people start, but that's because we're just laying that solid foundation. And that's actually why too, like younger players have good success with it. And I know quite a few college goalies too who've used it as their in-season program. Yeah, and even like moms and dads, if you have a goalie who has maybe done puck battle domination and they're 14 years old, ready to step up to something a little more demanding, but not quite ultimate goalie training 3.0, because that really is a pro style off-season program, then this is a good next program as well, because again, the workouts only take sort of 20 to 40 minutes. It's a little bit more doable. So those are all the different programs. Hey, we did pretty well with time, didn't we? Yeah, 60-day money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it. The programs work. It's why actually we just celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Revolution Sport Conditioning this week. So it's how I've been able to earn my living as a strength and conditioning coach before I had Revolution, I had another training business as well. So I've been a trainer for over 20 years, because the programs work. I can say it all I want. I'll let some other goalies and players say it for me. We'll kind of rip through these, and I'll tell you about your bonus, and then I'll let you go and get your favorite seat for the game. But I love this one, and I just grabbed these this afternoon. I could have easily filled, a 2-hour PowerPoint presentation with these screenshots and testimonials. I literally just went into one folder, grabbed like the first, I don't know what, 6 or 8 I saw and stuck them in here. But, it's like, this is my first season playing hockey where my joints weren't screaming for the torturous year to end. That really doesn't sound like fun. Had a most productive season, played every single game for his team, won the regular season and the playoff championships. And then there's this great celebration picture below. Like that is my currency, is pictures of hockey players hoisting trophies over their head with a look of elation on their face. Like that is what I do it for. And yeah, I sell the programs because actually running an online business isn't cheap. It seems like it, you just sit in Starbucks and type away, but to produce high quality videos and content and all that stuff. But this is my currency. This is what gets my juices flowing. Here's another one. I like this one. He says, it's absolutely amazing to be a 4-14-2 JV goalie to a 7-1-1 D1 high school varsity goalie in just one season. I like this one. This one is from a post on Goalie Gear Sluts, which makes me laugh every time I say it, and it makes me nervous every time I post something to it. Like I'll try to post exercises and things, but sometimes these guys are just ruthlessly ruthless. But so somebody, this was so funny because somebody posted and said, the comment was like, I'm trying to explain Maria Mountain to a friend of mine. How would I do that? Which kind of gave me a complex a little bit. It's like, am I that, like, I'm a chick who trains hockey goalies. Like, what's so weird about that? everybody knows somebody like that. But this one, so there was lots of replies, and some of them were hilarious. One was a picture of this lady with great big boobs, which clearly isn't me, but I like this one. It says, before Maria Mountain, after Maria Mountain. Now, not that you're all going to be able to do the splits, but I thought that was awesome. This is from one of my turning pro guys. He wrote me a testimonial, which was so nice. But he's just saying, yeah, I'm dedicated to my clients, which I am. I just want you guys to succeed. And when I say guys, I mean guys and girls. This one, I like. Huge thanks. Went 5-0 and took home the trophy. Never felt better. I'm 40. I haven't played 5 games in 2 days since high school. Felt great all weekend. I'll be singing your praises. Yeah, so finished up our season. Looks like I'm sitting near the top in our league stat-wise and tied for 10th in the nation. Our team has finished first overall in the region, and we're going to nationals. Very exciting times. That's from a college goalie that I train. My body feels great. All the shots seem to slow down now, and it seems like I'm always in the right position for the save. And then, we're setting up a time to talk. This is a turning pro goalie that I train who plays in college. I honestly can't thank you enough for these workouts. We just finished my high school hockey tournament. We won 1-0 in a shootout in the bronze medal game, and I got the MVP. In all the years I've been playing and all the camps I went to, no one has ever given me the right tools to open up so much possibility. I'm more flexible on the ice, my butterfly is wider, more stable, and more balanced. And my reaction time has improved to allow me to react to shots better, as well as completely closing off the bottom of the net on odd man rushes and breakaways. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, it's not just me telling you, and again, I could have filled up more and more of your time, like doing the humble brag, but I just want you to see that, it can transform how you play and how you approach hockey and how you feel stepping on the ice, and how much you enjoy. Like your joints aren't screaming for the end of the season to be here. It's a positive thing. So if you've stayed around this long, I'm going to give you a little treat. I'm going to give you a code to save 30% off any of the programs I talked about tonight until the end of the day on Saturday. There will not be any extensions whatsoever. So if you don't use the code by the end of the day Saturday, you can still buy the program, but you will not save the 30%. I always say that, and I always get emails like the day after, 2 days after, 3 days after the deadline with like the longest story. Like, my dog got sprayed by a skunk, and then Granny ate a bad lobster and had an upset stomach, and like, and things that are like, oh my God, that sucks so bad. I want to help you out. But the truth is, like Hockey Strong starts on Monday. I've got like private training clients workouts to do. It's my grandmother was Greek, so it's Orthodox Easter. Like, it's just too much going on, because once I take a coupon code down, I have to go back and reset it up again to give someone the same deal. So no extensions. If you send me an email asking for an extension, I'm not even going to reply to it. I'm just going to pretend I never even saw it. So that's the deal. Here is the code. The code is webinar30, all one word, and case sensitive. Just like that, it's on the screen. So here are the program pages again. You might even want to take a screenshot of this or a little picture with your camera. But it's Hockey Training Blueprint, Hockey Workout Club. Those are for skaters. The Blueprint is the top level one. The Hockey Workout Club is more introductory. Puckbattledomination.com is for players 10 to 13 or 14 years old. It's for goalies and skaters. Ultimate Goalie Training 3 is the highest level off-season program that I have for goalies other than private training. And again, if that's something you're interested in, you just will email Dion, help@hockeytrainingpro.com with a subject line like private training with Maria. And then if it seems like you're really going to be a really good fit, we'll chat about it. Rapid response goalie training. Those are the quick workouts that I kind of created for adult goalies, but they're good for some younger goalies as an entry level program. You can do them at home. They only take about 20 to 40 minutes. So it's easy. You know, the consistency is the key. You've heard me say it a million times. So that's what that is. And then the Shutout Academy is the brand new program that, again, it's a little more fluid because I get a sense of the group and I design programs for that. But it's going to be on par with Ultimate Goalie Training 3 in terms of the volume and the intensity. I want it to be a very high level program. The very cool things about that are there's a private Facebook coaching group, so that's really cool. Right? You can go on and ask questions, and I go on and answer them. But there's also a nice community there that helps you out, and it's season synced. So if you sign up, like now, you'll start May's program on like Sunday or Monday. You'll start right with us as we go through an entire off-season periodized program. So maybe take a screenshot of that so you know where the links are. You know, go to those pages, read the info pages, scroll to the bottom. I always put an FAQ, frequently asked questions, at the bottom. Read those questions and answers, and see, you know, if it's going to resonate with you, then you know. If you read that and you think, oh gosh, this is a load of malarkey, you know, that's okay. It's just not resonating with you, and it probably means, you know, that it's not right for you at this stage, and that's totally okay too. But I do try to really outline, hey, who is this for? So if you're reading the info page on those programs and you're like, yeah, that's me, you know, then that's a good sign that you're on the right track with it. Let me quickly before I let you go, show you how to use one of these coupon codes. So let's say we decided, oh geez, I'd love to get rapid response goalie training. You click on this button that says add to cart, and it's probably a little slow because I have about 17,000 tabs open. But it's going to go to this page. Now, these products are priced in US dollars just because that's how I set it up when I started the business like 7 years ago. Plus, actually, the majority of my customers are in the United States. So that's why it is. I'm not trying to like rip you off. When the Canadian dollar was higher than the US dollar a few years ago, I was losing money. And now it's not even really that I'm gaining money because I have to pay bills for my online stuff in the States anyway. But anyhow, it just is what it is. So I would go here, see where it says coupon, and I would type in, the code is webinar30, and then I click apply. So then watch, doom. So you see that came off. So the original subtotal was this, and then I put in the coupon code. I see that that's come up and the price has gone down. So double check that you used the code properly, and that when you clicked apply, that the price went down. And then you just fill in all your information here. Again, it's like completely secure. ClickBank is one of the biggest like online marketplaces. It's not like eBay or something like that. Really, it's not really like eBay and Amazon, but it's just like for an online product retailer. They're super fantastic people. So your payment is secure. You'll be sent a receipt, and then you'll also be taken to a page that has a summary of your order. And then I think they're green buttons that say like click here to access your product. And when you click that button, it takes you to a page where you create a username and a password. Now, even if you have one of my other programs and buy a new one, they're on their own separate databases because there's so much information in each program. They're separate databases. So don't think that it knows your other username and password. You still will have to create a new username and password to access it. And of course, if you run into any trouble, you just email Dion, help@hockeytrainingpro.com, and he'll sort you all out, no problem. So let me quickly look and see what questions you have. So there's like a little there's a little box for questions that hopefully you found, and you can type your questions in there. Yeah. So yeah, it's shutoutacademy.com and ultimategoalietraining3.com. Should I do the dynamic warm up before the mobility or after mobility before strength? Um, After mobility before strength. So it would be you would stretch, then dynamic then dynamic warm up, then your strength. Somebody just said for Shutout Academy, and I'm not really. Oh, for the dynamic warm up. Yeah. Yes, correct. I have a 9-year-old player, plays a year up in Michigan, but seems we do not have off season. It rolls season to season quickly. What do you think? That's what I think. Oh no. I mean, I know it's hard because there's so much pressure, right? Because you don't want your kid to feel left behind or worry that they'll be left behind. But man, I would love to see that kid playing baseball or soccer or something. And I mean, playing a year up, it's exciting, but like it just, I don't know if it gets him that much more ahead of the game. I mean, it really varies from organization to organization. I know around here there's pressure for kids to go to these camps and these select tournaments, but at 9 years old, I really don't think it'll stunt his development to like play a different sport or take some time away from hockey. Like he's got to love this sport for the next, 10 to 15 years if he really has the potential and the drive to make it. So, make hockey a treat. That's kind of what I think. But is the hockey training blueprint appropriate for a 50-year-old? It really depends. I certainly have, like, I'm amazed. I'll get emails from guys that are like 50, 59, 62 that'll be like, I just did Ultimate Goalie Training 3. I loved it. If you are a good judge of what you can and can't do and what's going to be okay for your body, then I think it's fine. And as long as too, you're going to, look at something and be like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do like those sprints. That's one of the things that really worries me, because as we get older, our connective tissue is a little different. So it's those like acceleration, takeoff sprints, change of direction, sprint, running, because it's very different from skating, right? There's forgiveness in skating. There's no forgiveness in running. And that's when guys rupture their Achilles tendon and tear their hamstrings and their hip flexors, but that Achilles tendon, like that slows you down for months and months, like a half a year. So if you're a good judge of what your body can and can't do, and you are fully prepared to leave some things out, then I think it's okay. If you're not so good at that, then I would probably not do it. I might look at something like the Hockey Workout Club, which I kind of created as like a fitness program for people who play hockey. So I hope that helps. 14 years old with not lots of money. He would pay for it because he was interested. Which one do you recommend? I'm not sure if it's a goalie or a skater. I'm not sure if it's a goalie or a skater. I'm not sure what level they play at. Oh, he plays rugby, but only available to train 5 days a week. Rugby is great. Has he done, Nathan, if you're still on, has he done other training before, like in the gym? And let me know, is he a goalie or a skater, and has he done other training before in the gym? I'll try to come back to you. Oh, there, he's a goalie, plays tier 1 select, had a personal trainer. You know what? I would be inclined either Shutout Academy, because it's month to month. Although at the end of the day, it's going to be more if he stays with it for the 4 months, because I think it's $47 a month. Or, and this might be the better option, rapid response goalie training, because he's playing rugby, so he's getting lots of the conditioning and rapid response. He'll just sort of get that goalie specific part. So wow, I look like I'm in the subway here a little bit because it was light out when I started. Now it's getting dark, so I'm not, like, we do have electricity and I'm wearing a scarf. It looks like we haven't paid the hydro bill. I promise we have. But Yeah, I think maybe rapid response, because then it just gets that goalie element for him. The price is down, so that's what I would suggest. Okay, gang. Thank you very much for adding that in. That was awesome. Okay, this is it. This is all. We got 5 minutes to go and catch the start of the game. I hope this has been helpful. Again, my intention wasn't to do a pitch. It was just to explain these programs, because I know that I confuse you guys, and I'm so sorry that I do. The coupon code is webinar 30. All one word, all small letters. It expires the end of Saturday. No exception. I'm gonna be tough on this one. Okay, gang, that is all. Thanks so much for joining me. Anytime you have questions, fire them my way. If I can't answer them on email, it's again, it gives me an idea for another webinar, and I can cover it for you then. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.